Let's start with the tough questions, okay? The world has changed a lot. Every day more and more because technology, because the pandemic, because the social media, and a lot of things. The business environment has become more and more digital. Anytime, anywhere, and on the channel become the standard of all of the things. In your opinion, in this new environment, what is the role of the branding?
Well, in this new world, and my gosh, how fast it's changed. I think branding is actually more important than ever, because the challenges there, there's so much clutter in the world right now. And the question is, how do you break through that? How do you really stand out? And I think brands are so important because they help us break through the clutter. When you go online and you search on something or you get on social media, there's so much out there that a brand can really help you simplify things. It can help cut through the clutter. The other piece that I think is really important right now is that trust is such a scarce commodity in the world right now. People don't know what to trust. It's fake news.
Yeah.
And the one thing people do tend to trust, though, is they trust brands. And if there's a brand that you know and believe in and have experience with, people trust that brand. And that creates a huge amount of value. And I think that's going to be more and more important as time goes on.
Okay. And just for a start, I'm a fan of your books and articles, papers in general. As a teacher, I read a lot. And for example, in my MBA classes, when we start to talking about branding, the first slide, the brand definition, the first brand definition that I use, it's yours. I will read that. Branding is a structured process that guarantees the continuous improvement of the delivery of the brand promise. And I put underline on that, brand promise. From the definition of the promise to the implementation in all its contact points with a strategic audience. So I think it's complete. It's complete itself. As everything is changing all the time, do you understand that is still the best definition for brands, or in your opinion, there is a new one?
Well, I mean, I think I would say there's always been different, definitions and ways to think about branding. I like, I've developed my kind of terminology, my thinking, and it's evolved some over the years. But I think the function, you got to remember, brands have been around for centuries, and the functions that they do and how they operate in different ways have always been the case. So it's just, I think, finding what ways that you're comfortable with and how you like to think about brands and branding. And so that's one of the things I've tried to do is come up with my philosophy and try to express that in my my writing and my books and those definitions to try to capture that. For me, I always have a strong customer flavor, really focusing on the consumer, and whether it's or individual or a business, and always think about the head and the heart, how they think and they feel and how they act, and what brands mean, which, brand meaning. And I talk about knowledge, but knowledge in terms of thoughts, feelings, associations. I still think that's fundamental. I think there are all kinds of influences that maybe have changed, but I think the basic notion of brands providing information and providing meaning and providing value to customers in different ways still holds true. And so it's just thinking about what to do with the value, how to create the value, how to deliver it, how to communicate it, and the role of the brand is part of that. I still think holds true, but it's something that, again, they're always looking for other definitions and other ways to try to explain and understand branding, so that would be helpful for people.
So let's start. I will follow my script, okay? First of all, Mr. Kotler, as everything changes a lot in our world so fast, what's, in your opinion, what's the best definition for brands?
Yeah, well, let's remember that a brand was originally a name given to imprinting or burning a name on livestock, so you wouldn't lose your cow.
Okay.
But it became more the idea of developing a name or design or a symbol that would say you're the seller of this particular product, and no one else can confuse you with their brand. Your brand is unique. So that is what branding moved into.
Okay, and we talk about branding, the continuous management. Branding, in your opinion, is a responsibility just for a marketing department or for the whole company?
Actually, it depends. If a company is a large one like Unilever with several brands, maybe 200 or 300 brands, into the thousands sometimes.
It's a house of brands.
The biggest brands, the most important ones, are critical to the company, not just to the marketing department. I mean, the whole company has to review and have a tracking system. Is our brand growing stronger or weaker? Does it need modernization and resuscitation? So the point I'm making is that for the big brands, the responsibility is company-wide. For the small brands, they're just either starting off or they don't make that big of a difference, and they are handled mostly by the marketing department and so on. But branding is not the same as marketing. Because some people act as if you don't need the word marketing anymore because a company should be doing good branding and everything else is okay. That would be a mistake, because branding is about communicating the value of an offer.
Okay.
Marketing is about creating offers. In other words, everything has to start with marketing. Marketing is the job of finding out needs that are not being met and coming out with fine ideas on what people would be excited about. And in fact, selling is not the hardest part. It's coming up with the right idea that people want to line up for when they hear it. Now, marketing is the job of communicating the meaning of something that you're offering. So they are both very important, but I would say first the company should manage to master marketing and then master branding within marketing.